bluffing.
Try me.
FBI Most Wanted series finale, CBS next Tuesday and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Another early taste of summer for your day tomorrow with high temperatures reaching close to 80 degrees. Maybe a few afternoon drizzles, but I have your full outlook coming up next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Michigan House Democrats are calling out a state representative who they say used racist language when talking about sanctuary cities in the state. Plus, Delta County is looking at how to increase transportation with their only locally based taxi service closing. And we have the details on funding heading towards a historical building in Lake Linden. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
First look at your forecast tonight. It was a glorious day, rounded off into the 80s for Marquette, and we'll those nice and comfortable temperatures tonight with partly cloudy skies. 55 for Iron Mountain, 53 for Manistee with a little bit more cloud cover and maybe some fog, down to Menominee around 54 degrees. And headed into tomorrow, we'll still see a few of those 70s, 71, 72, especially through the afternoon. We can't rule out a few drops around that 3 o'clock or maybe 5 p.m. time, but overall pretty comfortable, and we're still tracking those storms for Thursday night, and I'll have your full details on that forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Kelly. Michigan State Police is looking to identify an ATV driver who took off from them during an attempted traffic stop in Ishpeming. According to their press release, they tried pulling the man over on Greenwood Street near Willow Street on May 9th. Troopers did not pursue due to the suspect driving recklessly and endangering public safety. He is described as white, wearing a black shirt, a blue motocross-style helmet, and no goggles. Later in the day, MSP saw a man matching the description along the trail near North Washington Street. The man noticed the patrol car and fled on foot into a wooded area where he had stashed the ATV and fled the scene again. MSP is continuing to investigate and is asking anyone with information on the suspect to contact their Negaunee post. Michigan Democrats are calling attention to comments made by Republican representatives in the state house. The lawmakers introduced a resolution asking Republican leaders to take action against hateful speech on the House floor. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has the report.
Earlier this month, Michigan's House of Representatives passed legislation to ban sanctuary cities. The bill would take tax dollars away from municipalities that don't comply with federal immigration enforcement efforts. When they saw a vote, State Representative Josh Shriver stood up in support.
The fact that the rep is against sanctuary cities is not news. That's fine. It's policy. We all have different views.
House Democrats are now calling attention to his remarks on the House floor. During his speech, Shriver quoted a former White House advisor, saying immigrants undermine America's national sovereignty.
The largest population transfer in history is coming from all the races in Asia, Africa, Latin America, and they are not acclimating, they are not melting, and they are not reforming to the American way of life.
House Democrats are calling his words hateful and racist, asking Republican leaders to condemn their colleagues' words and deliver consequences.
This is a dereliction of duty by House leadership.
This isn't the first time House Democrats have singled out Shriver for hateful rhetoric. Last term, he was removed from committees and stripped of funding and office staff after showing support for the Great Replacement theory online, a theory associated with nationalist and white supremacy movements.
This is not an isolated incident. This is not a misstep. This is part of a disturbing pattern, and it demands real consequences.
The resolution calls for the censure of Shriver in response to his statements, but members of the House Republican caucus say they have more important issues to worry about. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Escanaba's only locally based taxi service shut down this week. Today, the Delta Area Transit Authority met with public transportation users to discuss their options. The Transit Authority currently provides weekday rides, and a few Uber drivers in town are working to meet the need on evenings and weekends. Checker Transport of Marquette has been providing trips to the Delta County Airport since December, and the company is looking at possibly expanding its services in the area. A taxi service based in Iron Mountain is also considering moving to Delta County. The Transit Authority says the primary obstacle in expanding hours is funding, so voters will be asked to support a county-wide transportation millage next year.
We can't fill 100% of those gaps, probably ever. Jan was running 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That would be unheard of even for a taxi company to really pick up anymore.
In the meantime, the Transit Authority's mobility manager is helping those who need rides connect with providers who can get them where they need to go. The Michigan Department of Lifelong Education, Advancement, and Potential is announcing that beginning next year, any 4-year-old in Michigan, regardless of income, can enroll in pre-K for all. Studies have shown how a pre-K education can prepare children for the intellectual, emotional, and social aspects of early learning. A representative from Marquette Algerisa says the average cost for full-time pre-K is $10,000. Therefore, eliminating that cost, along with a wide variety of schedule options, makes this valuable to working families.
Across both of our 2-county area that have programs that are 4-day, have programs that are 5-day, and even 4 half-days and 5 half-days. So this is our first year offering 4 different types of programming based on parent feedback. That's pre-K.
For information on enrolling your child in pre-K for all, visit WZMQ19.com. A yearly grant fund from the Keweenaw National Historical Park Advisory covers various maintenance projects for historic locations from Copper Harbor to Rockland, dispersing over $2 million since 2008. This includes places such as the Houghton County Historical Museum in Lake Linden. WZMQ's Andrew Hans has more.
The Keweenaw Heritage Grant is committed to the preservation and upkeep of the Copper Country's many lengths of history. Of this year's 13 recipients, the Houghton County Historical Museum is using its funds for sealant repairs along the building's base level, as flooding has been a recent issue.
We were having very high moisture problems, and for a museum, that's bad. So we had to do something about it.
The building was constructed in 1918 and originally served as a hub for various medical and working class needs in the Lake Linden area. Some of the rooms included a dentist office, a pharmacy, pay office, and a telephone operator station.
You had bookkeepers and things like that. This particular room was payroll. Upstairs, they had engineering, record storage, and things like that. But the thing I liked the most is up in front, they had 2 telephone operators.
Today, the building is one of many that stand to represent the historic upbringings of the copper, logging, and mining industries in the area.
This is not the only building that we have, but this one is dedicated to the people that lived here, the processing of the rock and the copper, and to some extent, the mining.
Society President George West says that with these grants, local history will continue to educate the community.
I'm constantly learning things. There's always something I didn't know.
In total, this year's grant awarded around $125,000 to various historical societies. In Lake Linden, Andrew Hans, WZMQ 19 News.
Upaw's Animal Shelter has a new tool for making the adoption process less stressful. Our John Truitt has good news for people who want to adopt a pet.
At Upaw's in Sands Township, the goal is always to find the right home for the right animal. But what about after your new pet finds their forever home? Most pets don't come with an owner's manual. However, a new service at Upaw's is taking some of the stress out of welcoming that new member of the family. It's called Petzl. And Ryan McLaren, a shelter support specialist at Upaw's, says information gained early in the adoption process is important.
We usually call it like the 3-3-3 rule, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, so they kind of hit those and just kind of touch base to see where things are going.
Petzl is a free service that collects data on your pet's transition from shelter to your home. Petzl tracks all the details involved in adopting a pet, from recommendations for veterinary care to questions about nutrition and diet.
They provide a lot of these resources that come directly from vets, the articles. That way, if people are having trouble it kind of shows pertinent information from people that know what they're talking about.
Petzl is an information hub that connects pet owners to the shelter of origin, healthcare professionals, other pet owners, and their vast library of resources tailored specifically for your pet.
They also have an app that they use. This no download required, so it's very user-friendly for people. And then on that, there's resources, tips that they partner with a lot of vets.
And although it's not an owner's manual, the information Petzl gathers will help in the homecoming process. In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, we continue to follow the developments taking place in the trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. And police gather in Washington, D.C. for a vigil to remember fallen officers. We're back in 2 minutes.
May is Maytag month at Kirkish Furniture. It's the biggest sale of the year all month long on all Maytag major appliances. Buy 2 select laundry appliances and get up to $100 in bonuses. May is Maytag month at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton.
Closed captioning sponsored by Range Bank of Upper Michigan.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. 3, 2. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget,
Welcome to Big Boy, where we know you by name. From our mouth-watering burgers to our affordable breakfast and dinner buffets, we've got you covered morning, noon, and night. Enjoy Big Boy's fantastic meals at home with our fast to-go curbside pickup. And for office parties or events, Big Boy is the area's go-to for the best catering service. So when you want clean, affordable, convenient, and delicious, you know the answer is Big Boy, where we know you by name.
The UP loves to be outdoors. Running, fishing, hiking, biking. If it's happening outside, you want to be a part of it. And this little baby is what you need to be ready. It's local and 100% free, 24/7. WZMQ 19's news app can show you the best times to be out, what to wear, how to stay safe, whether to bring along the kids. It's your problem-solving power tool. The WZMQ 19 app, now playing on a phone near you.
Home for CBS is WZMQ 19.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back, taking you into Alabama for a second, where we do have this hailstorm here, seen here by Jay. And this hail, if I had to guess, probably about pea size. And I'm showing you this because we are tracking some storms for your Thursday night into Friday. And a lot of people can forget sometimes that hail can be damaging. So if you get any bigger than about 1/2 inch, getting to 1 inch in diameter, could damage your vehicles. So as we get into the storms that we're tracking for Thursday night, maybe bring your vehicles into a garage if you have one, but just be cautious. We'll have more details on the wind and the tornado and hail outlook once we get closer to that. So tomorrow we'll have a better idea of that. But before we get to those storms late on Thursday with high temperatures into the low 70s, we'll have a few drizzles for tomorrow. Tonight, though, partly cloudy skies with low temperatures in the mid-50s. Very comfortable. The comfortability will continue for your midweek, but as we get into Friday, it'll be cooler, and cooler will take us back down to those seasonal conditions, but then it'll start to be a little chilly for the weekend. So we can enjoy the warmer temperatures over the next few days or so, maybe having to dodge a few raindrops for tomorrow. So headed out to the bus stop, headed out to work, just maybe don't wear white shoes, especially if you're out to Ironwood. Might be a little muddy into the evening time here, but overall just a few raindrops here, a few scattered showers maybe, but into Thursday morning kind of see the same thing, cloudy skies and those isolated drops. Now we get into the afternoon, this sunshine that we might see before the line that we're tracking tracking for Thursday night might not be the best in terms of fueling the severity potential of these storms, but most of the Upper Peninsula is at that level 2 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. So a few scattered, short-lived with that isolated intensity of those thunderstorms here, maybe some small hail, limited tornado threat. It's a low chance, but it's not a no chance with some possibly damaging winds here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. That's really for your overnight hours of Thursday into Friday. So not likely going to impact your Thursday plans itself, but the evening time and maybe into that morning commute time for Friday might be a little bit of a different story. But for tomorrow, 58 degrees for that 7 a.m. time. Sun and clouds. Again, we might have a few scattered drizzles for that afternoon time, but this is very comfortable. Temperature is 74 degrees, so that average into the 60s. We're going to be well above that for everyone. Ironwood, you might see a few isolated thunderstorms embedded in those showers that you're going to see, but Escanaba, Menominee, you might see some fog with slightly cooler temperatures into the 60s. Now we get a few of the drizzles for your Wednesday. The storms that we're tracking, again, the time frame for that is your Thursday night into Friday. A little bit cooler and breezy for your Friday, but some scattered showers and cooler conditions for your Sunday. So the pick of the weekend, temperature-wise, looking to be Saturday, and a cooler start to the week ahead for your Monday and Tuesday, back into the upper 40s.
Kelly, thank you. The jury in the Sean Diddy Combs trial heard from a crucial witness as his federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial entered a second day. Combs' former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, took the stand as a key prosecution witness. Jared Hill reports from New York.
The prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, took the witness stand for the first time Tuesday, detailing her tumultuous 10-year relationship with Sean Diddy Combs.
I think she's very prepared. I think she understands that she'll tell the truth, whether it helps or hurts.
The R&B singer testified they started dating when she was 22, while she was signed to Combs' record label. She says the relationship became violent, and the music mogul would frequently, quote, bash me on my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me. She says she also participated in drug-fueled sex sessions with other men to please Combs, feeling like she had no other choice. Ventura testified the encounters became a job, the longest lasting 4 days. Ventura, who's expecting her third child and noticeably pregnant on the witness stand, is expected to testify for 2 to 3 days. Prosecutors are trying to convince the jury that Combs turned his hip-hop conglomerate into a racketeering enterprise using lies, threats, drugs, and violence to force people to satisfy his sexual desires.
The key for the fact finder is to separate the emotion from the hardness of the description.
David Shapiro is a former Essex County assistant prosecutor and professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice.
Legally, defense doesn't have to put up any argument. The difficulty for defense here is that Mr. Combs comes with a lot of baggage.
The defense concedes Combs had violent outbursts, but maintains the encounters were voluntary and relationships consensual. Combs' attorneys have indicated they may call Ventura's husband as a witness to discredit parts of her story.
Tonight in our nation's capital, family members and law enforcement officers honored those who have died in the line of duty in 2024. It's all part of the Police Week ceremonies happening in Washington this week. And tonight they held a candlelight ceremony for those who died protecting our communities. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
While enduring the relentless rain, family members and law enforcement officers took part in the candlelight vigil ceremony from the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund along the National Mall. This year, they honor 345 men and women who died in the line of duty. Family, friends, and colleagues wait to hear their loved ones' names.
Adam R. Buckner. The impact of hearing those names is something I can't really put into words.
The CEO of the Memorial Fund says the total number of line of duty deaths in 2024 represents a 25% increase in officer deaths compared to 2023.
And to me, it indicates that the conditions out on our roads, out on our streets, the conditions for the men and women in uniform doing this very tough and oftentimes dangerous job is getting more dangerous. And I don't necessarily know how or why that is the case. I have some theories, but the reality is that whatever the theories are almost immaterial. The reality is that more men and women are dying year over year than in years past. And so I think all of us as citizens of this country must grapple with the reality that the men and women who volunteer to serve us, to put themselves in harm's way, are doing that job in increasing risk.
The organization hopes this vigil is a reminder of the sacrifice many people in our local communities make to help keep us safe.
So I say to people, find your local police officer, find him or her directing traffic or sitting in the coffee shop, find him or her and say, thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being willing to put your life on the line for me and my family.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
Mike Ludlam has your sports headlines after the break. 2 perennial softball teams converge in Delta County. We'll have the highlights when we come back.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go here, surf's up, here, woo, and here.
Get a new 25 gas-powered Corolla or any new Camry with 4.99 APR financing. Lease a Corolla from $219 a month or Camry from $289 a month.
Your summer starts here and just keeps on going.
Toyota, let's go places.
Here's your WZMQ CBS This is Home Community Calendar.
Gambling ads are getting pretty hard to ignore.
Bet now. Free bet. Bet now. Free bet. Bet for free. Bet like that. Free bet. Free bet. Free bet.
If you choose to gamble, make sure you play it safe. For tips that will help, go to don'tregretthebet.org. A message from the Michigan Gaming Control Board.
Good evening, everyone. 2 of the top softball teams in the state, the 21-2 Escanaba Eskimos and the 20-1 Gladstone Braves. They met today down in Gladstone. Game 1, bottom of the 5th, Escanaba leads 2-0 when Addie Noblet sends this one to left center field and the fence. 2 runs will score on the play on the 2-bagger, and the Eskimos have a 4-0 lead. That was plenty for University of Michigan recruit Grayson LaMarche. She struck out 19 Gladstone batters and gave up 2 unearned runs late. Gladstone took the first game by the score of 5-2. They won the nightcap 8-3. LaMarche had 13 more strikeouts in 5 innings, so that's 32 in the doubleheader. These 2 teams will meet again next Tuesday in Escanaba. Meanwhile, in Negaunee, a Kingsford University softball runner had trouble on a potential double steal attempt. Runners were on first and third, so no throw to second, but and she gets into the base. Slightly awkward, shall we say, but it worked out just fine. She's smiling. Kingsford scored the first 5 runs in the top of the first inning of that game, so at least she had more reasons to smile. Let's go to the softball scoreboard. Superior Central takes 2 from Kearney-Nadeau, 15-5 and 16-4. Bark River Harris over North Dickinson, 23-18. The Nordics get the nightcap, 20-10. Lakeland and Hubble doubles up and more than doubles up on Iron Mountain twice, 10-0 and 10-0. Indian River Inland Lakes defeats St. Ignace 16-0 and 26-4. Turning to baseball, Kingsford at Escanaba picked this up in the bottom of the 5th. McCaden Hughes hits a fly ball Deep in the left center field. That one's going to land safely. A runner will score on the play. Hughes goes into second with a double. The score is tied at 3. A short time later, Nolan Bink is in the batter's box, and he's going to bounce one in for a base hit, and that will give Escanaba the lead as Hughes scores. Ashton Rimkos threw a complete game 4 hitter as Escanaba won 4-3. Pablo Finney drove in all 3 Kingsford runs with a double and a sacrifice fly. Let's turn to tennis, where West Iron County was visiting Negaunee today. Negaunee's Brady Johnson serving to the Wycon Xander Birmingham in the far court. Birmingham approaches the net. However, Johnson with a very good lob wins the point, and Johnson ended up winning the match 6-love and 6-3. One side over, 2 first doubles. Negaunee in the near court. That's Easton Gannett and Nolan Olivero. And that's a point for Gannett against the Wycons Jackson Strom and Eli Oberlin. And Negaunee wins this match 6-2 and 6-2. Miners win the match 8-0 and raise their record to 8-1. On the other sports scores, also in tennis, Marquette defeated Escanaba 6-2. High school golf, the Range Bank Golf fight today at the Wabwano and Country Club. Calumet, the winner on the boys' side, 7 better than Houghton. Westwood third, followed by Kingsford and Negaunee. Individually, the Patriots' Tyler Anna added again with a 76. Copper Kings' Robert Locus and Ben Anderson each with 78s. Houghton's Jack Sayin an 80, and Connor Arco of the Gremlins with an 81. For the girls, Negaunee wins by 14 shots over Calumet. Then it was Norway, Gladstone, and West Iron County. The medalist was Charlotte Todd of Calumet in a playoff with 103. Negaunee's Eddie Crookman had a 103 as well. Marita Kangas, Sonia Irvin, and Linnea Penela rounded out the top 5. Kingsford Invitational Track on the girls' side, Forest Park, the winner, 8 points better than Kingsford. Then it was Florence Niagara, North Dickinson, and West Iron County. On the boys' side, Kingsford with no trouble. Florence Niagara next. Then it was Iron Mountain, Forest Park, and West Iron County. And in girls' soccer, the Battle of Dickinson County goes to Kingsford, 4-0 over Iron Mountain. Houghton High School senior Eli Heathman has signed a national letter of intent to join the Northern Michigan University downhill ski team. Heathman has earned 11 varsity letters. He has served as captain for 3 years of the ski team, earning MVP honors, and he was a state champion in 2024. He's been an all-state skier for the past 4 seasons. Eli's older brother, Reed Heathman, already is on the Wildcat team. When 2 UP Sports Hall of Fame inductees are from the same community and they are enshrined back-to-back, there's a good chance something funny will be said. That was the case Saturday as Iron River native and longtime assistant basketball coach Jamie Angeli somewhat set up 2022 Winter Olympic snowboard cross-gold medalist Nick Baumgardner of Iron River.
And I'll never forget sitting down with Nick after camp one day, and I said, Nick, I've got some advice. It's a little outside the box. Like you think a little bit about this. One word, snowboarding. Okay? Of course, he thought I was crazy, nuts, he was crying, it was embarrassing, but I remember walking away and I turned and I flipped another camp t-shirt to him and nodded my head and I said, Nick, keep your head up. I see gold in your future. I mean, the commercial writes itself, doesn't it? It really does.
And I'm standing next to the guy from Italy who took the bronze medal, Omar Vicentine. Next to him, Elliot Grandin, a 20-year-old kid from Canada who took the silver medal in the individual race. Next to him, the kid who broke my back on my 36th birthday. And I couldn't help but giggle and look to myself, you got something to prove, here's your chance, buddy. And then I go there and I have a good time. The 20-year-old kid that I ended up passing for the lead in my race. Before we got in the gate, I said, hey, Elliot, don't you go doing something stupid, like going out there and getting too far ahead of me that I can't draft you and pass you. And that's exactly what happened.
And we'll hear from a couple more inductees tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. We'll be right back.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Marquette.
And don't forget,
Welcome to Big Bowl, where we know you by name. From our mouth-watering burgers to our affordable breakfast and dinner buffets, we've got you covered morning, noon, and night. Enjoy Big Boy's fantastic meals at home with our fast to-go curbside pickup. And for office parties or events, Big Boy is the area's go-to for the best catering service. So when you want clean, affordable, convenient, and delicious, you know the answer is Big Boy, where we know you by name.
Hey everybody, Jerry O'Connell here. You know what? Let's play some Pictionary. Can you guess what this is? That's right. Weekdays, 9 a.m. only on CBS WZMQ. I'm not supposed to write letters, but don't miss it.
Pictionary, weekdays at 9 a.m. on WZMQ CBS. Tonight's sports is brought to you by the Window Store.
Why should you consider re-siding your home? Your home is the largest investment you'll make. Protect it with new siding installed by the experts at the Window Store. We offer a range of affordable, high-quality siding options, including premium ABC seamless steel siding with attractive financing options available. And we install all winter long across the entire UP. Schedule your appointment today and enjoy the Window Store experience for yourself. Your clear choice is the Window Store.
Welcome back. Final check of your forecast here as we look into tonight and over the next few days. We can expect partly cloudy skies here into the mid-50s for those low temperatures. And we're going to continue to be on that trend of above average temperatures for your Wednesday and Thursday. A few drizzles for Wednesday, but we are tracking those storms for Thursday with the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms embedded in there. You might get a few isolated thunderstorms out in Ironwood tomorrow through the afternoon, but overall we're looking at the upper 60s, even upper 70s, pushing 80 degrees out to Iron River. So a little bit of the same conditions from today that we're going to see tomorrow. So no complaints here temperature-wise for your Wednesday and Thursday. Might have a few drizzles and a few storms to impact your Thursday evening plans. But for your Friday, we cool it back down, but that's actually seasonal for us. Partly cloudy skies, some scattered showers to deal with for your weekend, and cooler on your Sunday. And the cooler conditions will take you into the week ahead.
All right, Kelly, thank you once again. Mike, finally tonight, I know you want to get to those Tigers highlights.
My goodness, a crazy game between the Tigers and Red Sox tonight down at Comerica. Let's take the video.
There's a great
We'll pick this up in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Red Sox with a 4-3 lead, but not anymore. That would be Javier Baez with a 401-foot home run to left field. And that scores 3, so the Tigers have a 6-4 lead. We go into extra innings, and then in the bottom of the 11th, bang! That would be Baez again, another 3-run homer, this time of the walk-off variety, his 5th of the year, and the Tigers go on to win this one in 11 innings by the count of 10-9. Their record now is 28-15. The Brewers, unfortunately, could not score tonight, and Cleveland won that game by the count of 2-0.
All right, and I should point out the Pacers take down the Cavs to take the
4
series
games
as well,
won,
Mike.
yes, 114, 105.
All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
At Fox Marquette Chevrolet, lease a 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 LT 2FL Crew Cab 4-wheel drive for $394 a month for 36 months with 0 due at signing. Together, let's drive. Fox Marquette Chevrolet. Experience the difference.